Can police enter a home if there's no answer after a 911 hang-up? Hey guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero, attorney and senior legal instructor for law enforcement training. Bringing to the Roadside Chat. This question comes from an officer in Nevada. And a little background here. So the officer says, I responded to a call where 911 call where the caller hung up. Dispatch stated that they heard muffled voices and could not make out what was being said, but also heard heavy breathing. At the end of the call, before the line was disconnected, a male's voice was heard saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" And the line went dead. Dispatch received no answer on callback after attempting several times. When my partner and I arrived on scene, we knocked and rang the doorbell several times, but nobody answered. The only thing we could hear was music playing somewhere in the house. Eventually, I was able to receive an answer by telephone, and the male stated that the kids were playing with the phone and everything was fine. Apparently, it's not very clear, but apparently the husband also allowed a welfare check. But the point of this question is, what if the husband says, you know what, my kids dialed the phone, you're not coming into my home. Can we still enter the home? Now, I got to tell you, some of the toughest questions that I get are these, because they are so fact intensive. You know, there is no one size fits all with these domestic calls and the welfare check type of scenarios. You're going to have to make a decision. I cannot make that for you, but I can give you some guidance. Now, to kind of get down to business, I think that on this one, I think that the officer can go in, right? If the husband refused entry. Here's what's going on. Number one, what doctrine is in play? The doctrine in play is the emergency aid exception. It is not community caretaking. So just so you know, cops have been going around, for many years, and I don't blame them because they didn't know better. But they, for many years, saying, "Hey, we are going to enter the home under community caretaking to check on the wife and make sure she's okay." The problem with using that phrase, community caretaking, is that when you look at case law, community caretaking does not require any form of exigency, emergency, right? In order to enter homes, you need that kind of high level of urgency, right? So instead, we use the doctrine, the emergency aid exception. The emergency aid exception requires that the officer articulate facts or circumstances that would lead a reasonable police officer to believe that a person in the home needs or wants your help. And if you do not act, they could be in imminent or immediate harm, right? So why do you think that if you do not act now, the person could be in harm, needing your help, needs your protection, needs medical services, and so forth? Let's go back to the facts. The officer did an excellent job articulating a lot of stuff. First of all, we do have a hang-up. I don't teach that a hang-up automatically equals entry, but it's still a hang-up. Number two, the person is not answering the phone. Like, okay, fine. Kids play with cell phones. They dial 911. It happens to all of us, right? But what would a reasonable person do? A reasonable person would answer the damn phone and say, hey, dispatch 911. Look, mistake, my kid. You kind of hear him in the background. And that's probably if it was, there's nothing else going on, then you're probably done, right? Maybe you go to the house, you talk to the husband, the father, the wife, whatever, and if they don't want you in, you should be careful. Number two, the heavy breathing, as if maybe somebody got struck and is semi-conscious and so forth. Number three, the "what the F are you doing" comment. That course can go both ways. Hey, kids, are you playing with the phone? Or to the wife, for example, "What are you doing calling the police?" Arrived at the house, knocked on the door several times, no answer. Again, why not just answer the door and explain this thing to the cops? And the other thing is the cops have reason to believe somebody is currently home. The music is playing, so that they didn't leave. So with all this said, if it was me, and if I was on scene, and these are the facts that I have, and there's nothing else coming into play here, I would make an entry based on the emergency aid exception. I would sweep it for victims of domestic violence, and I would go from there, right? These are tough calls. You have to make them, but I'm glad that we're talking about it. Before you leave, will you do me a favor? Will you hit subscribe? Hit the like button. That just shows me I'm doing a good job over here. It's my tip. And finally, share that with your friends. All right? All right. I appreciate it.